say?
Nah, you know, I've been actually like, I'm studying consciousness in one of my classes. Like even lately, like I had to watch a bunch of videos and stuff, and they talk about that, like, you know, like the conscious mind needs to be punished in order to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your mind wants to struggle to kind of like gain its knowledge.
Right.
So you're always gonna like, there's always gonna be that like conflict that people are never gonna get over. People want their heroes to not be heroes, because then it makes them human.
Yeah, and they feel like.
But that's kind of why I listen to Slipknot.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
Slipknot,
Corey Taylor.
Dude, Corey Taylor. I'm not the biggest fan of Stone Sour. They do too many sappy music.
Right, yeah.
And I like Slipknot because it's heavier. But his lyrics, the words he uses, you know what I mean? Like everything that he talks about, like even outside of the bands, like when he walks around with t-shirts and the things that he says, he's always like I'm one of you, like I was a piece of shit at some point, like the rest of you, you know what I mean? I'm one of you. We're all maggots.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean?
And it makes it relatable, you know what I'm saying? And people look for, you know, other individuals that they can relate to and gravitate towards. So that's always an important thing, just like when writing stories. That when you're making characters, obviously you want to find, like, you know, ways to humanize them enough that when people read those characters that they don't feel like they're unrelatable, like how most people feel about, like, Superman and other stuff and whatnot, you know what I mean? So that's a cool thing. You know, personally, for me, I love Superman, so I'm not hating. Alright, my other question is, if there were any deceased creators you could speak to, who would it be, why, and what would you like to hear them say or talk to you about?
You said DC creators?
No, deceased.
Oh, deceased.
Like dead.
Man, creators? I'm not the biggest on knowing, you know, who's deceased and who's not. But I don't know. The only person that I could really think of that I would like talk to, and only because I met him once, and when I met him, I took it for granted because I didn't really like know him at the time. But fuck his name, Jeff Robinson.
Oh, Jerry Robinson.
Jerry Robinson.
The guy who created Joker. Yeah.
And like I met him at Comic-Con, and he was in a booth right in front of like where one of the main walkways was, but nobody knew who this fucking guy was.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, he was an old dude, and I was like, yo, he has to be somebody. So I go over and walk over to Tongue, and I'm looking at the stuff. And it's like first original creator, the Joker. I was like, oh my god, like, you know what I mean? Like, why is nobody here? Nobody knows you. You know what I mean? But the things I would talk to him about is just mainly just to see what his input about where the Joker has been taken today. You know what I mean? Like Joker became such a big character that I just want to see what he thinks. Because remember, Joker, when it started out, he wasn't a super psychopath. Yeah. You know, to the degree that he is now. He was just a guy who bank robbed stuff.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, like, the Joker, believe it or not, DC wanted to get rid of that character, and it wasn't until the 1966 Adam West Batman series that, like, the Joker proved to be so popular to people that then DC decided, you know what, we'll keep him around. And it was like, wow, who would have thought? Like, that show was what kept the Joker afloat as a character. You're like, yo, that's insane. Like, of all things, you know what I mean? But
out of all things, that rendition of him. But it did the same thing. It kind of did the same thing for Batman also. Cause if you pay attention to like Batman's popularity, he didn't really become popular again until then, because after the first like couple of black and white movies that they did, it kind of like lost its popularity. But still, you know what I mean? Like the Joker was held on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, to this day, people, as soon as anyone gets cast as the Joker, people automatically react like, you know, oh no, who's playing the Joker? Like, whoa. Like, if it's someone playing as Batman, they probably don't really stress it too much. But when it comes to the Joker, it's like, no, like, we gotta make sure there's someone cast. And you're like, that's very fascinating, because you would have thought, wow, like, they care more for the antagonist just a little bit more than they care for the actual protagonist. Like, that's insane. Now, my other question is, what living creators would you like to speak to or talk about, or even possibly want to collaborate with?
Living creators, because I already met Stan Lee. Living creators, to be honest, whoever is handling, is Scott Snyder still handling the Batman series right now?
Well, he's no longer writing Batman. Tom King is, but he is writing All-Star Batman currently with John Romita Jr. drawing it. And he's writing that series. But that series kind of technically continues off from where his run on Batman ended. So it's basically just all the other stories with all the other characters that he never got to tell stories with. And he's kind of doing that. It's like, my comparison to that is like, his Batman run was like 7, like David Fincher's 7, and then this stuff also Batman's like Mad Max. Yeah. So it's a cool thing and whatnot, stuff like that. I'll send you some stuff so you can check it out yourself.
Well, I asked because like personally, I just like Scott Snyder. His run on Batman was great, and I always felt like the way that he was taking Batman, I was like, yo, I have so many ideas. I have so many fucking ideas that you could play on, and even now, like, and obviously there are ideas because the mythos you could add it into anywhere. Really.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I had a lot of ideas, especially with his run, that I was like, yo, you could have done this, you could do this, you could do that, and maybe they had the same ideas. I would just like to see where, their head is. Even Jeff Johns with, he was doing Green Lantern for a long time, and like for Green Lantern, like there's so much you could possibly do with Green Lantern. I was just like, dude, I just want to know, like, how do you cipher all your ideas and just fucking, like, you know what I mean, like, and obviously it's not just him, but just any of them, anybody in that world. Like, I just want to know what it's like to constantly have to be in a room. And this is what I want to establish, or I wanted to establish with everybody that I know that does artistic stuff. Like, imagine being in a room with a bunch of people who all have ideas, and good ideas, and they're creative, and they constantly, every day, thinking about new shit that could be added on to this story, that story, this story, that story, and then you have all these people working together to just non-stop, just put it out. And I would love to do that, you know what I mean? Even just seeing how to start it up. And I think those, since their series have been really amazing, I would love to see them, because they're gonna be the next Stan Lee and fucking Frank Miller. And those are the people that's gonna become like the next legends.
I feel like that's always an important thing too, which is why, again, when I made that Facebook group, and like every now and then when I meet somebody who's from that group, and I'm telling them, like, yo, I made that page for a reason. Like, it's like, it's not just there just to be there. Like, hey, if there's like somebody who has like something they want to talk about, or they want to play bounce off other people, or create something right on the spot if they want to, if they feel comfortable with it. I mean, like, like you could. I mean, it's like, it's just a matter of, maybe a matter of time of when and where, but with all this stuff that we have now with emails and Google Docs and all this other stuff, it's like, it shouldn't be that difficult to try to play off of, like, ideas, even if you can't see somebody in person sometimes, you know what I mean? And I mean, sometimes things are better when you're in person. Other times, like, even if it's a quick thing, like a quick idea or a little sketch or doodle, like, yo, boom.
Well, I mean, like, the problem is, and this is why I don't like, this is how I don't, this is why I don't do so much with a lot of people. It's just because everybody's always worried about their own shit, you know what I mean? Everybody's always trying to get their own thing and trying to get their own stuff across, and it's like you can't get your shit done without collaborating. And I have no problem working on other people's stuff, you know what I mean? But at the same time, if it's your project and you want to get it done, I'm not gonna fucking kill myself to try to make your dreams come true, because if you're not putting in the work for your own shit, when it's my shit,
what makes you think you're going to do the same?
You're going to do any more work than you already are? No.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Now, here's another question for you right here. If you could go back in time to speak to your younger self, what would you say?
Keep everything I possibly created ever. And I say that because at the time, well, you know, when you're a kid, you don't really think about things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You really don't. Like, the amount of things that I've drawn and created, like, yeah, I still have a lot of, like, stuff from black books that I've kept. Do you know how many things are on, like, loose paper that I could possibly have a good idea? Even recently, like, I doodle in class, you know what I mean? And all the stuff that's in doodle form, like, not finite ideas, but doodle form.
Are always better.
Because they're in the moment, and I just haven't taken them and transferred them to something else. If I could look back and try to find all the ideas and stories that I've came up with in all those pages that are now lost, you know what I mean? Like, that I threw away and didn't care about. So I would tell myself, like, yo, here's a box. Everything you even if you think it's fucking stupid, throw it in there. Draw it out. It could be a penis. Throw it in there. Because one day, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, yo, you know what would be a good idea? If I drew a penis for this. And you're going to be like, wait, I did design a penis specifically for this idea. And then you can backtrack. You know what I mean? But,
fun fact, I have a friend named Gabriel Aguirre. And, like, he created a character that's actually a penis.
Nice.
I'm not going to say the name of the character because I know I want him to, like, copyright the character once, so I'll say it, like, when we're off record. But, God, good Lord, like, I'll show you an image. It's hilarious because, like, everywhere he goes, people laugh at it because they're like, yo, that's pretty genius, you know what I mean? But it's basically like a shark and a penis combined. It's the craziest thing.
Shark penis. Right.
Shark penis. But, you know, it's funny you mention that because, like, I recently posted a thing on Instagram, and I think you saw it too, where when I posted this thing of, like, when people say, why haven't you created your own characters? Like, no, it's not that I haven't created my own characters. I've had characters for years. I just haven't put them out there yet because, A, there's still got to be stuff you got to, you know, there's some characters that you saved in a box for a certain period of time, and it's kind of like you kind of don't know what to do with them yet. Or, like, B, before I put them out there, I want to at least copyright and trademark them because it's like, in this day and age, you got to be really careful.
And you can make money off of somebody else's shit like it's no tomorrow.
Yeah, man, when I found out that you could just change 60% of someone's image, and then that 60% is enough just for that image that you made to become someone else's image, for them to get credit for it. And you're like, yo, what kind of BS is that? Like, all those hours I worked, or weeks or a year working on something, and someone changed it enough.
But that's exactly why I'm scared of going to, like, big companies with my idea. And everybody's like, oh, but just take the chance. And I'm like, I could take the chance. I'm not saying I can't. It's just, all it takes is for me to not have something that's needed for them to accept me, and they already heard the pitch to my idea. You know what I mean? Like, let's say I don't have a script for anything, but I have the concept.
Right.
Once I don't have that script, they're like, oh, well, you don't have the script, so that means you're not done with the idea. Go back and try to refurbish it, or whatever the case is, right? And usually even some patents, and I know usually it's for when you invent, like, stuff, but I looked into it at some point, and it was said something about how, like, there's a certain time period, too. So, like, if you patent something, you have, like, I don't know, like 90 days to fucking actually make it come up before somebody else can buy that patent and keep it for themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So imagine coming up with an idea and working your ass off to do it, and then somebody else coming in with, like, waiting till the timeline's up just to take it from you.
Right,
You know what I mean? Even I got, well, I'll tell you the next story after.
Yeah, don't worry about it. See, it's good stuff to learn, folks. Good stuff to learn. Keep that in mind, man. You know, there's some things you know that just can't be said in other places. Just don't. Save it for later so that way no one steals it. I said it on record, folks. Alright, next question. Question 10, I believe. If you were to make a book about a specific era of your life, what would it be and why?
Specific era. To be honest, I have no clue. I've been through a lot. Like, not to put it out there. Like, I don't mind. Like, I like telling people my life stories because people learn from it. You know what I mean? But to be honest, like I feel like if I was gonna put any kind of era into effect, it would have to be like high school to now.
Okay, wow.
And that's because, like, before high school, I went through a shit ton of stuff, especially with my parents and everything. But all of that stuff was kind of like out of my control,
right,
to some extent. You know what I mean? And then, like, right around high school, I want to